Sunday Live Sports begins right now. I'm Bernard Ndong. Harambee Starlets stand-in captain Anu Luoch scored the winning and crucial goal for Kenya as the hosts beat Botswana by a solitary goal in the return leg of their Olympic qualifier at the Machakos Stadium. After a goalless first half, Kenya scored the decisive goal in the dying moments of the match for an aggregate of 2-2 score. Kenya sailed through to the third round of the qualifiers because of the away goals rule.
I've always been confident with them, so the level of concentration, we tried as much as possible to frustrate them with the ball possession despite their physical nature.
A change of venue could have been a stroke of luck for Sofapaka as they beat Ulinzi Stars by 2-1 at the City Stadium in Nairobi. The match was slated for the Ruaraka grounds, but the pitch was waterlogged and the match venue was changed to the City Stadium in Nairobi. Fiston Razak put Sofapaka ahead after 5 minutes and was again on target in the 28th minute as they combined well with teammate Danson Cargo. Job Mohati scored Ulinzi's consolation goal in the 72nd minute. Fewer spectators but plenty of action is one way to describe the 2015 Rhino Charge, which took place in Kalepo Conservancy, Samburu County earlier today. Wahiga Mwaura brings us all the highlights except the name of the winner that will be announced tomorrow.
It's 6 o'clock Sunday morning, and while many across the country are still in bed enjoying the long weekend, 64 drivers gathered at the starting point of the 2015 Rhino Charge in Kalepo Conservancy, Samburu. The organizers kept to the timetable, and soon the drivers were off. Their mission to reach the 13 checkpoints in under 8.5 hours. The first indication that this Rhino Charge was much tougher than previous ones was the sight of thick smoke billowing in the distance. My cameraman Nelson Aruya and I attempted to reach the ruins of car number 32, but the thick foliage and warning about wild animals prevented us. The checkpoints were the most interesting places to be because that was where all the action took place. And car number 24 belonging to Jaspal Madharu surely put up a fight against these stones.
It's been quite a thick bush. It's quite a thick bush, and we've broken our radiator fan. So we have to go on stopping the car for it to cool down a bit. But so far so good.
A lot of them, we broke all the shafts and we're moving on. We left with 1, 2 or something like that.
For some of the residents of this remote conservancy, this was the first time that they had seen such cars breaking the silence of this quiet valley.
Now this is a gauntlet stage, normally picked because the spectators will flock here for all the action, and this time round it's actually very packed here. It's like a traffic jam, similar to what you see in Nairobi on a weekday.
While many felt that this year's gauntlet was not ideal for the spectators, the bush traffic jam provided some entertainment. Veteran rally driver Ian Duncan brought his no-nonsense attitude to the wild, bringing down this tree without a second thought. For M-Pesa car number 23 belonging to John Masharia and Peter Kinyua, their preparations for the 2015 Rhino Charge were even more brutal than the actual charge, and one of their members suffered a head injury but still chose to participate.
I was practicing with my team last weekend, and I was a runner ahead of the car. I slipped, hit my head on a rock, 36 stitches.
The organizers of the Rhino Charge were keen to reduce the number of spectators, and thus the extra costs and early deadline meant that only a quarter of the fans that attended last year's edition were able to attend this one.
I'm quite happy this year. The gauntlet is not crazy. Yeah, it's actually disciplined, it's civilized.
I love the Rhino Charge and it's fun and exciting.
I think it's really fun, and I was bored for the last few days, but now that I'm with KWS, they're really fun.
Tumestuka sana, hata kuna gari yenye mtu tangu uzaliwe hujaona. Sasa wakina mama sasa wengine wanashangaa tu. Wanasema sasa hii ni kitu gani? Hii ni ndovu au hii ni nini?
Reporting for Citizen Sports, I'm Wahiga Mwaura.
Let's cross over to the United States, and Ezekiel Kemboi and Eunice Sum were both in emphatic form as they dominated their respective races at the IAAF Diamond Race in Oregon. Kemboi, who is arguably the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase specialist, took the lead from gun to tape as he displayed clinical front running. Kemboi was, however, pushed to the edge by teammate and fellow Kenyan Jairus Birech as the final lap was decided by a sprint between the two athletes. Kemboi's experience propelled him to victory as Birech finished a close second. Consensus Kipruto finished in third place. In the women's 800 meters race, Eunice Sum timed her race to perfection as she surged forward in the final lap, but she was also forced to battle it out for the victory against American A.G. Wilson. In the men's 1 mile race, Asbel Kiprop made a tactical error and finished third. Faith Chemengetich played second fiddle to Ethiopia's Genzebe Dibaba, who set a meet record of 14 minutes, 19.76 seconds in the women's 5,000 meters race.
1:57.76.
And staying with athletics, Rebecca Matiko and Simon Cherono clinched the Safaricom Deaf Marathon that was held today in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County. Cherono dominated the race from start to finish as he clocked 1 hour 3 minutes flat in the men's 21 kilometers. He led Daniel Kiptum and Lucas Wanjiru, who finished second and third respectively. 19-year-old Rebecca Matiko, who won the first edition in Kisumu last year, was again in winning form in Uasin Gishu County, I beg your pardon, as she finished first in a time of 1 hour 20 minutes and 53 seconds. Sarah Wangare finished second, while Electine Maliema crossed the finish line in third. 180 participants were involved in this year's race.
I've been training for this Eldoret Marathon, the second edition, and I'm happy that I've won it. I feel the hair was good, and I've tried my best.
Metro Sportive edged Githurai Sports by 3-0 in a Super 8 football match that was played at the Baba Dogo grounds today. Edmond Dusi and Peter Mbetsa scored for Metro Sportive in the 50th and 70th minutes respectively, inspiring the third by teammate Julius Andende. Joseph Oduor scored a consolation goal for Githurai Sports. In other matches of the day, Nairobi's Hamad Bahati FC are whooping 7-0, while Shauri United beat Angola 2-0. And staying with the beautiful game, Barcelona's Lionel Messi stole the show as he scored a sensational goal to propel his side to victory in the final of the Copa del Rey against Athletic Bilbao. Barcelona edged their opponents by 3-1 to bag their second trophy of the season. Here are the goals, including Messi's spectacular goal.
Look at this, Kevin. It's a brilliant run from Messi. Did he go all the way? Rakitic, Suarez, wonderful move. 2-0. It's back to Alves. He's got in behind Mikel Rico here, and in goes Messi.
Wolfsburg scored 3 times in 60 minutes to come back from a goal down to beat Borussia Dortmund 3-1 and land their first German Cup final. We'll be having the images in just a moment. There we go. There are the goals of that victory by the second-placed side that is second in the Bundesliga. They rallied after Dortmund took a 5th minute lead at the Olympic Stadium. That is the venue for next week's Champions League final between Barcelona and Juventus.
Wolfsburg are a team that can play attacking football. We've seen it so many times. We're seeing it.
And we go back to the United States, and Jamaican Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price clinched the women's 100 meters race, as you can see there on your screens, as she romped to victory in a time of 10.81 seconds. Ivorian sprinter Muriel Ahure set a similar time to take second place. In the men's race, as you can see there once again on your screens, Tyson Gay was the victorious in that race, managing to set a time of 9.88 seconds.